What if I told you that every single day you're unknowingly constructing an invisible prison around yourself? Not with bars or walls, but with something far more powerful and dangerous: your own words. Right now, as you're watching this, you might be trapped inside a mental cage that you've built one conversation at a time, one complaint at a time, one negative thought spoken out loud at a time. Most people have no idea they're doing this. They think they're just expressing themselves, being honest, or seeking support from friends and family. But what's really happening is far more sinister. Every time you verbalize your struggles, every time you rehash your problems with others, you're not just sharing your experience, you're literally rewiring your brain to become comfortable with limitation. Today, we're going to explore one of the most overlooked psychological phenomena that's keeping millions of people stuck in mediocrity. We're going to talk about how your spoken words create your mental reality, and, more importantly, how you can use this knowledge to completely transform your life starting today. Think about the last time you had a really challenging week. Maybe work was overwhelming, your relationship hit a rough patch, or you were dealing with financial stress. What was your instinct? For most people, it's to call a friend, meet for coffee, and spend an hour dissecting every painful detail. You walk away feeling temporarily lighter, like you've shared the burden. But here's what you don't realize. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your brain as the world's most sophisticated recording studio. Every word you speak about yourself gets recorded, mixed, and played back as background music in your subconscious mind. When you consistently talk about how hard things are, how unlucky you've been, or how overwhelmed you feel, you're essentially creating a soundtrack of limitation that plays on repeat in your head. Your brain doesn't distinguish between what you're saying to others and what you believe about yourself. When you tell your friend, "I never have enough time," your subconscious hears, "I am someone who doesn't have enough time." When you say, "Nothing ever goes my way," your brain files that under fundamental truths about who I am. You're not just describing your experience, you're defining your identity. But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a psychological principle called the confirmation bias, which means our brains are constantly looking for evidence to support what we already believe. So when you've told yourself and others that you're always stressed, your brain becomes a heat-seeking missile for stress. It starts noticing every small inconvenience, every minor setback, every reason to feel overwhelmed. You've trained your mental search engine to find problems instead of solutions. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this. I once worked with a woman named Jennifer, who was incredibly talented but constantly struggling to advance in her career. Every time we met, she had a new story about workplace politics, difficult colleagues, or impossible deadlines. She wasn't lying or exaggerating. These challenges were real. But what she didn't realize was that by repeatedly talking about these obstacles, she was training her mind to expect and find them everywhere. One day, I gave Jennifer a challenge. For 30 days, she was not allowed to verbally complain about work to anyone, not her husband, her friends, or her coworkers. Instead, whenever she felt the urge to vent, she had to write down the problem privately, and then immediately write down one potential action she could take to improve the situation. The transformation was remarkable. Within 2 weeks, Jennifer started noticing opportunities she had never seen before. She began having different types of conversations with her colleagues. Instead of bonding over shared frustrations, she was collaborating on solutions. Her energy shifted, her confidence grew, and within 6 months, she had received the promotion she'd been waiting for 3 years. What changed? Jennifer's external circumstances were largely the same. The real shift happened in how she was programming her mind through her words. Now, I'm not suggesting you become emotionally repressed or pretend everything is perfect, That's not authentic and it's not healthy. What I'm talking about is strategic communication. Being intentional about how you use your most powerful tool, your voice. Instead of saying, "This traffic is driving me crazy," try thinking, "I'm learning patience in unexpected moments." Instead of, "My boss is impossible," consider, "I'm developing skills in managing difficult personalities." These aren't just feel-good affirmations, they're cognitive reframes that literally change how your brain processes challenging experiences. The people around you will notice this shift too. Think about the people in your life right now. How do you feel when you're around someone who constantly talks about their problems? Probably drained, right? Now think about someone who faces challenges but focuses on growth and solutions. Those people are magnetic. They're the ones others want to collaborate with, promote, and be around. Here's a practical exercise you can start today. For the next week, every time you catch yourself about to complain or vent, pause and ask yourself 3 questions. What is this situation trying to teach me? What's one small action I can take to improve things? How can I reframe this as an opportunity for growth? This isn't about toxic positivity or denying reality. It's about becoming the architect of your own mental environment instead of its victim. Your words are the blueprint for your future self. Every time you speak, you're either building a foundation of strength and possibility or reinforcing walls of limitation and helplessness. The most successful people I know have mastered this principle. They don't ignore problems, they process them privately, extract the lessons quickly, and focus their verbal energy on solutions and next steps. They understand that every conversation is either moving them toward their goals or away from them. Here's the beautiful thing. You can start changing this pattern right now. Your past conversations don't define you. The stories you've been telling don't have to be the stories you keep telling. You have the power to change your narrative, starting with your very next conversation. Remember, the goal isn't to become someone who never faces challenges. The goal is to become someone who processes challenges in a way that makes you stronger, not weaker. Someone who uses difficulties as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Your words have power. Your story matters. And the way you talk about your life is literally creating your life. It's time to become intentional about what you're creating. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more psychology insights that actually work. Your future self is listening to every word you speak today. Make sure you're telling them a story worth living.